This place, or what I'm allowed to see of it, is pretty much like I thought it would be. A dump. You'd think that in the 300 years since this place was settled, they'd have made a go of it. But look around and you see the fruits of excessive liberty and loose governance. I mean, they're not charging me anything for the accommodations, but they're worth every credit I didn't pay for them. Maybe this is all just an old Navy man complaining about slack living. But you know, a man gets tired of tripping on discarded inhalant cans. These visitor accommodations here, I bet they're very much like the initial crash habs that the first refugees lived in when they first arrived. And there's plenty of evidence that this place is on a war or disaster preparedness footing. If you look around, you'll see how the government, such as it is, has laid aside emergency stocks of survival consumables for when things go awry. For example, these crates here: food, water, and other essentials necessary to sustain life. The pity is these people are separatists from the UEE, but the Empire is only a kiosk away. But these are for the passers through. It's hard to tell whether the starport area is the true face of Levski or some manner of elaborate ruse. I get the impression that the people here are paranoid and suspect the UEE of plotting some kind of attack. I guess I miss those planning meetings. Sweet Homo erectus this place is cobbled together. I can only imagine the hard lessons taught over the centuries, yet still Levski looks like it's hand to mouth. These piles of emergency supplies don't instill confidence. I'm trying to decide whether I'm sad or angry that the memory of Anthony Tanaka is sullied by such shabby treatment. I'm sure the garbage is meant as a tribute. This maintenance shop is, I suppose, eventually going to be a going concern. I guess you bring stuff you need fixing, and then they fix it. Someday. So it's said that there are residential areas that aren't accessible by visitors. That's what I meant by what I'm allowed to see of it. I wouldn't put it past the Levski authorities to present this barely scraping by front to outsiders, while doing somewhat better behind closed doors. But who knows? I'm on my way to Levski's marketplace, and as you can see, I'm bypassing a couple of levels which might be those residential units. But as for how they access the starport, that's anyone's guess. I haven't seen any access doors yet. I'm trying to decide whether the way this station looks is an exercise in studied not given a care, or whether this is the best they can do. Or maybe this is an outgrowth of their community of equals idealism, where nobody does anything demeaning or servile. Well, if you're going to call cleaning up or making safe for making it look good demeaning or servile, then, well, you get this. To include a hospital that's closed up. Now again, mind you, this is the Spaceport Medical Treatment Facility. Who knows what they have for the permanent residents? But it's not a good look, that's for sure. The commercial area is pretty dreary. Limited selection. High prices. That duster hanging there tops 5,000 credits. Which tells you how far off the space lanes this place is.
These deals are not going to last long. Good deals, best in the market.
This fellow here is selling some greenery. Or is he? You can't buy it. Maybe he's just here for morale. I decide to take a look off the beaten path, see what's in these side corridors. It's plain that the old mining shafts were just closed off and blocked up by stacks of emergency supplies. QV Services didn't tie everything up with a nice neat bow when they closed up operations here, that's clear. And the new residents haven't spent much effort tidying it up either. What's in here, I wonder? Most bracing looks solid, at least. But the fact that it's needed is worrisome. If this rock decides to come apart, there's nothing gonna stop it. This caution tape is hilarious. It's both a warning and an acknowledgement it's not gonna stop the curious. Well, I ain't going in there. This busted up control room is sad. It looks like it suffered a recent cave-in, though it's also clear that vagrants and such have trashed it. This place is in serious need of a skilled mining engineer, or the geological situation is beyond repair and these folks need to consider relocation. Oh, what's this? This looks like some aftermarket additions here. I hesitate to proceed, but my curiosity is getting the better of me. Maybe I'll put my helmet on. This passage leads back to the sub-level 4 atrium, which, as all public spaces are, is stacked with emergency supplies laid aside for whatever disaster they expect to befall the community. I decided to check out the borehole station passage on the other side. Down here is where Recco manages Levski's mining operations and, apparently, deals out jobs to passers through like me. It's also where the central life support and ventilation machinery is maintained. Here's the beating, ancient heart of Levski. This looks like a gaseous extractor unit, probably left over from when QV was here, making this a couple of centuries old maybe. I might be wrong, because this isn't my work. It surprises me that any random passer through can get access to this machinery, but who am I to say, right? The techs appear competent. They better be. And it looks like there's a mix of newer and older equipment in here. As I come up out of the bowels of Levski, I run across a dumper's depot and I decide to stop in to see what wares they're hawking here. Nothing of great interest for me as far as components go, but this is a surprise. This Durango is quite the power plant. Run a very big ship on this thing. I'm surprised, or maybe I'm not surprised come to think on it, to see a wide array of stealth-grade shield generators here. This thing is a beast. It's a capital ship class APOC rotary cannon, which is a strange sort of thing to have on hand here at Levski. And then there's this Galderine laser repeater. This could be an interesting addition to my ride to replace that attrition I got from Hurston. I'll have to give this some thought. And then if I wanted to spend the credits, I could get these to replace the quad laser cannons mounted in the nose. These would increase the coverage and spread. For now, I take a pass. What I've got is good enough for the moment. I hear tell there's a weapons outlet here, and I'm curious what they got to offer. I'm not really in the market for shooting irons, but it never hurts to know what can be got, and where. This store name fits in well with the spirit of the place. A bunch of service avoiders. For a bunch of peace lovers, they have a pretty wide selection of personal arms for sale to the passer-through, to include light anti-armor weapons. Huh. Well, I wonder what they're selling at 60% off. Probably nothing worth having. Still, like I said, doesn't hurt to take a look. I find a suppressor for my pistol at a reasonable price. I'll take one of those, please. I finish up at Cafe Moussain. This place is named after some ancient earth watering hole that was known as a hotbed of revolutionary agitation. I better watch my step, and watch my tongue. I make no bones about it. I might not agree with every decision come down on high, but I don't see anything here at Levski that tells me that overthrow is going to end up better. Still, this is a good place to hole up. Ain't nobody here going to turn me into Hurston. Probably. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.